Gammon away. Go. Good hunter.
Good hunter. Gammon awaits. I guess it's entirely possible that I might be out of things to do, but let's see. What in the world is this? Oh, there is a lamp here. I must have missed it. Interesting. Are you... I can't talk to that thing? Oh, I can kill it, though. Kill it real good. Nightmare slain. Uh-oh.
Sweet child of Kos returned to the ocean. A bottomless curse, a bottomless sea, accepting of all that there is and can be.
Wow, modern Shakespeare. Okay, well, Nightmare Slain is a bit of a major phrase, usually indicating big accomplishment. Is it dead end then still? I guess so. I guess I can go back. Maybe that was everything.
Good hunt.
She's no help.
Farewell, good maid.
Thought she would give me a nice little update on how things are going, but I was wrong. Coast. See, to me it looks like there might be 2 more checkpoints somewhere. But I don't know where they would be. So am I gonna have to bust out a boss checklist here? I might have to do that. Am I live? I've been live for a few minutes here. Are we good? Yes, we're good. Okay, good. So, let's see. Oh, hey, we're good. So what I want to run by people here is the question of whether or not we're going to be playing any more of this tonight, because I think Nightmare Slain seems to be the key phrase for, like, you have accomplished all of the content, and we just got that. So I am thinking that maybe I am done with the DLC. But I guess the question I want to ask is there another DLC boss? Don't tell me how many, but, like, is there another boss I haven't fought yet? Or not? I guess I need to update my DLC boss list. Alright, so these are the DLC bosses I've killed so far. So, without telling me how many more there are, if there are any, let me know. But I have a hunch I'm done. There are only 5. So we might be done. Let me see if I can get a full checklist here and go through it. Okay. Bloodborne boss checklist. This is why I in the tweet I said, like, maybe more, because I think we might be done with the game, but okay, so I've killed 20 bosses so far, and I think, according to this, I need to go fight Gehrman. So, Gehrman awaits. So, there will be more content. We're just going to go fight Gehrman, or whatever. Whatever Gehrman wants. If he wants to talk to me, we'll talk to Gehrman.
Gammon awaits you. Go on.
He's been awaiting me a long time. Alright. This is it. We're going right into it. Yeah, Caden, I don't know where you've been, but 2 more down today, including a very difficult fight in Orphan. Orphan was really tough. Alright, so this is Gehrman. Just an old man in a chair. This whole game is about old men sitting in chairs.
Good hunter, you've done well. The night is near its end. Now, I will show you mercy. You will die, forget the dream, and awake under the morning sun. You will be freed from this terrible hunter's dream.
Submit your life or refuse? I'm gonna guess you don't want to pick submit your life. Because that sounds not rebellious enough. I think I need to pick refuse. Hope there's not like a permanent game over wrong answer here. I need to think about this for a second. What are my consequences? I want to refuse. I'm a rebellious man. I don't listen to old men in rocking chairs. Or, what? This is like a rocking chair wheelchair hybrid. Look at this. It has, look, like full back. It's like an executive chair. But it's also a rocking chair, but it's also a wheelchair. I don't understand the consequences of what I'm about to answer. I run away. Let me hear it again.
Good hunt now. You will die. Forget the dream. You will be free from this terrible hunter's dream.
I refuse.
Dear, oh dear. What was it? The hunt? The blood? Or the horrible dream?
Plot twist.
It doesn't matter.
He can stand.
It always comes down to the hunter's helper to clean up after these sorts of messes.
Wow. He's an agile old man. Let's get him.
Tonight, Gammon joins the hunt.
Garmin refers to himself in the third person. Wow, so cool. Garmin the first hunter. Let's go. Uh-oh. That's a big move. Wow. That environment destruction. Not respectful of his garden at all. Take that, Garmin. Ow. Oh. I wanted to be the one to gun him. Alright, come on, Garmin. Phase 2 Garmin. Wow, he's even more powerful than before. I got greedy. I got greedy. Got greedy on Garmin. Man, powered up Garmin's no joke. Oh, look where I am.
Garmin awaits. Go on.
Garmin awaits me. Do I have anything I can use in the meantime? Not really. Alright. We don't need anything else. We can beat Gehrman. I'm hardly afraid. Was that the same weapon you were using before? Because it looks different. Oh! Ow. I feel like Gehrman got stronger. He's really good at breaking those things. I have no reach. We're just like doing a dance on the battlefield. I wish my character would move forward. He doesn't like to move forward at all. Come on. Get in there for some damage. Here comes Super Saiyan. Big boy Gehrman. I probably could have killed him there. This was a mistake. Wow. Ah, that delayed attack. Ow. Wow, the uppercut. I'm running out of pots. Whew. Ow. I keep rolling into attacks. I don't know where he is. Nice camera. I blame the camera because that camera was spinning more than something that spins really fast. Don't really have any examples off the top of my mind because nothing spins as fast as that camera just did. But mostly I blame the camera. Oh, look at the time. It's time to grind potions. This potion grind sponsored by Bad Game Design. At least we'll get some bonus Bloodborne tonight. Here I thought we were just going to be quick, quick and easy. Gehrman awaits. And now he's going to await some more. All right, what are we going to talk about while I grind? We need a subject. I think the subject will be... Can Super Mario Party be a good game with the fact that it only allows the Joy-Cons? And my response is, I'm still salty about it. I cannot believe in the year 2018 that the big N would still force a gimmicky controller upon us when there's a much more viable option on the console. Yeah, so Super Mario Party, they showed it at E3. It looks like they're trying to do a throwback to classic Mario Party. So, like, the board game system itself looks really nice. And it definitely reminds me of, like, Mario Party 1, 2, 3. Just in, like, looks and how the game plays. Seems to play. But then they announced that you can only use the Joy-Con as the controller. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever used a Joy-Con as a controller, but... Allow me... Actually, let me go over here and die in the poison while I'm talking about this. Because I need to farm. But... this... To me... This does not satisfy my gaming needs. Okay? There's no comfortable way to hold this. I have big fingers. I don't know. It's... Okay... If you're, like, hanging out with friends and you're all playing Switch and you're the person stuck with the Joy-Con while everybody else gets the Pro Controller, it sucks. Like, it legitimately sucks. There's not any other way to put it. The stick doesn't really feel, that good. In handheld mode, it's okay, I think. But, like, just one of them, I don't know. I'm not a fan, personally. However... It sounds like that's going to be the only way to play. So if you want to have 4-player Mario Party, my understanding is you're going to need to buy 2 more Joy-Cons, and everybody only gets to use one. So, the Joy-Con Pro. I just don't get it. I think the Pro Controller is fantastic, and... I question why we need to restrict the gameplay to a Joy-Con. I really hope that changes at some point. Like, if it doesn't support the Pro Controller at first, maybe it could later. But it just seems like... I think Nintendo has this happen a lot, where... they come so close with these ideas. Like, they could really be knock it out of the park ideas, and then they just miss on something. And you're like, how did you guys get this wrong? And who knows? Like, maybe Mario Party comes out and it's amazing and the Joy-Con thing isn't a big issue. But to me, it's like... I don't like, compare it to Smash, right? Like, Smash has always had good controller support, and they go back and they support the GameCube controller, even though that's, 15 years old at this point, or 20 years old at this point. But they won't even support their current gen controller with Mario Party. There are people who have open sourced the Joy-Con so you can make a legitimate controller act like a Joy-Con. Interesting. But that would probably involve some sort of like homebrew, right? I don't know. I'm not an expert on this thing. So anyway, all gripes aside, I hope Mario Party is a fun game. The other thing is, they include it online finally, and you're all like, yes, this is going to be the game of the year. And then they say, oh, no, it's not the board game. Don't get your hopes up. It's a mini game, you know, like a five mini game battle. It's like, they're always so close. They're always so close. Come on, Nintendo. One time. Okay, well, we don't need that many bullets. Let's buy, like, 20. There. Okay. Let's go fight Garmin. Alright, that was a good conversation. Now it's time to go fight Garmin. They can't be that ignorant to what we want, so why would they make such a poor decision? I believe the simple answer is it comes down to money. And the fact that it's a lot easier to convince people to buy an extra pair of Joy-Cons for $70 than it is to get them to buy 4 Pro controllers. I mean, realistically, like, that's what it's going to end up doing, right? If you want to play Mario Party local, you're going to have to go out and buy another pair of Joy-Cons, because why would you already own a second pair? I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you already have, like, 4-player games for your Switch, but that's what it's going to make people do. Back to Garmin. I don't know. I just, like, compare it to, like, Mario Party on N64, right? That was so simple. It's like, let's just buy a controller for every player and let's play. But, like, an actual controller. Like, one that you want to hold in your hands. I don't know. Some people love the Joy-Cons. I'm not crazy about them. If you are one of those people who's crazy about the Joy-Con, I'd love to hear it. I want to know why. And I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I'm just curious, like, what about it do you like? Because I think in handheld mode it's fine. When it's, like, attached to the Switch and you have 2 of them, it's not that bad. But a single Joy-Con... We tried playing Puyo Puyo Tetris 4-player one night, and some people got stuck playing with Joy-Cons, and you just can't physically compete with other players when you're trying to line up puzzle pieces using a Joy-Con. It just doesn't work. I keep rolling into his attacks. I don't know. I'm just trying to look out for the best interests, right? I want these games to be hits. I don't want them to be Mario Tennis Aces where I buy it thinking like, oh, they seem to have addressed, you know, the issues with the Wii U game, and then only to find out that not really. Remember when people played Mario Tennis Aces? That was so short-lived. The only game more short-lived than Mario Tennis Aces was Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. Wow, he did like a full 180 and attacked me. Thought he was going to attack the telephone pole there. I think Mario Tennis Aces failed for a reason that is very obvious, which is actual mechanics of tennis do not apply to that game. Because you can track down basically any ball and get rewarded for it if it's like way across the court, there's no incentive to try and play tennis. And the only shots you can hit to be winners are lobs and drop shots. Everything else doesn't matter. Whereas if you play like Mario Tennis 64, you can hit the ball out if you aim it poorly. You can't do that in this version of the game, as far as I know. I've never seen anybody hit a ball out in Mario Tennis Aces. Or if it was like a fluke. But the biggest thing that actually makes it less of a tennis game is you can't hit angles. There's no, like, you can't, like, win a point by knocking someone off the court in Aces. There is no such thing. Because they can just trick shot their way back to the ball. How am I alive? That's not a good sign. I barely did any damage at all. And then I had to repop the Phantasm. Oh, I backed him into the corner. No! You're mine, Garmin. Alright, the key is to back Garmin into the corner. Ow! That does damage. What? What's the point of quick stepping away from Gehrman if he just quick steps towards you? Gehrman is a legend. I'm excited for... We got a lot of good games coming out at the end of this year, though. I hope Mario Party ends up being good, regardless of the controller situation. And... obviously, I'm going to get Smash. Mega Man's coming out next month, which is crazy to think about. I'm out of bullets, so we're going farming. I can just say anything in that voice and make it sound like things are coming out, and I'm excited. I'm farming for bullets. This part sucks. So excited for Dragon Quest XI. Finally got it preloaded on Steam. Good death. Yeah, it should be a good holiday season, I think, for games. A lot of good stuff coming out. I don't think this year was as good of a year for gaming as 2017 was, but it was pretty good. 2017, it was like non-stop fantastic titles being released. Yeah, same. I definitely did not buy a lot of games this year. Up until Dragon Quest XI came out, I think I bought like 2 games this year. I bought Mario Tennis, and what was my other purchase? There's something else on Switch. Oh, I bought the Splatoon expansion, but that doesn't count. Oh, Octopath was probably the only other one. Octotrav. Octotrav. $27 and $19. I love how like the late portion of this game is just spending all of your echoes on potions and bullets. Potion and bullet game. I could switch my gear up for Gehrman too, I guess. Instead of using the same stuff over and over again. Let's go Gehrman. Smash. He's excited for Smash too. Okay, so what I've gathered from Gehrman is it doesn't matter where he's looking, he can just attack whatever direction he wants. I was definitely behind him when he just clubbed me in the face twice there. Classic Gehrman. Just want to beat this dude. Piss off, Gehrman. Whatever I do to you, Gehrman. There was one sequence where I got to attack him multiple times in a row. It's never happened again. Jesus, Gehrman. Calm down. That was good damage. Gehrman. Gehrman, you don't have that much stamina. You're an old man. Well, this is not going well. Ah, yes, another Gehrman gets 6 attacks in a row. My favorite. Ow. I can't even see that attack. Nice camera. You must accept the normal rules of combat, you cheater. I bet he uses wall hacks in Counter-Strike too. Classic Gehrman. '91 2010. '50 60 60. '50 70 50. All right. I just wanted to try a different costume on. Nothing like killing him in a top hat. That move sucks. You suck, Gehrman. Oh, by the way, tonight's beverage of choice: Canada Dry ginger ale with lemonade. Mixed reviews so far. I don't know. Lemonade kind of takes away from the taste of the ginger ale, but I'll keep you updated. I think my initial thought is I'd rather just drink ginger ale and lemonade separately. You're cornered. No, he's not cornered. Silly me thinking Gehrman would allow himself to be cornered. Garamond, what happened? Ow. This move sucks. I literally just can't even see what it's doing, and it does 1,000,000 damage. Garamond obeys no rules. Garamond is the Dark Souls 2 boss of this game. I thought it was going to be the Orphan, because it seemed like the Orphan could do whatever it wanted. I think it's Garamond. I've beat this game 5 times and I still can't figure out how to avoid the leaping attack. That makes me feel a little better. I think one of the things about this game is that you can't see anything that's going on in the air, ever. There's been multiple bosses that can leap, and I just can't even tell like where they're going to land. Or, you know, how to anticipate that, because the camera doesn't cooperate. Fortunately, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it kind of sucks. Alright, I guess we're just going to keep doing attempts at this, because there's nothing else for me to do. Let's just go beat Garamond. This move... Oh, wow. I thought it's just going to kill me turn 1. I like the idea of, if we're going to attack him, let's get him up against the wall here and just do a trade. I have potions, so we might as well use them, right? You must stop between your attacks, like all the other players do. Garamond. Come on, Garamond. It's just me and Garamond now. I can't believe Garamond is standing in my way of starting Dragon Quest. This cannot be allowed. Well, I gotta go grind potions already again. Garamond, what are you doing, buddy? Garamond. Wow, that has stupid range. I'm literally mashing the gun and my guy won't shoot. I think I would be able to pull the trigger if needed. So I get for hiring a flawed character. He deserves that death, to be honest. He couldn't pull the trigger. You could see my controller inputs during that fight. It was L2, 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 and it just wasn't doing anything. I'm going to go farm. And we're going to farm like 100,000 this time because clearly I'm going to need it. Hope you guys are ready for another hour of farming. That's basically all the DLC has been so far. It's like decently doable zone into farm a bunch of potions for the boss. All aboard the farm train. You know what we should do is have some sort of like, what is that game called? Stardew Valley. We should have some sort of Stardew Valley stream that I can swap to so that you guys can watch that while I'm farming. I think that would be appropriate. If I was thinking ahead, we could have done some sort of dual stream. I'm so sick of this room. Yes. Nice. See, I think the problem is I get nervous when I'm at like 45,000 or something that I'm going to screw up and lose my farm. So then I go back and buy stuff. But I need to get more than that because it only affords me a couple of fights. Good old Gehrman. Alright, we need a new topic because we're back to farming. Alright, I got an idea. Alright, we've all gone through multiple iterations of our nicknames online. We've tried things out. Some things have worked, some things have not. I want to know what are some of the worst screen names you've ever gone by. Like, you thought it was cool at the time, and now you're just like, how did I ever think that was cool? Let's see. Who in the chat's got a good one? Ow, I got stun locked on the stairs. Going with this one. I like Arc Bliss. What's wrong with Arc Bliss? That's a cool name. Strong disagree. Whoa, look, it's me. AOL Instant Messenger. You know, AOL Instant Messenger, I think you get a pass. Just because I think everybody's AOL Instant Messenger name was pretty awful. A vasectomy. Yeah, that's probably one you changed after a while. Like, you thought it was funny at the time, and then you're like, maybe not. Everybody goes through that phase where they have a name like that, and they think it's, like, really funny. And then they change out of it. Trying to think of some examples for mine. For the most part, I liked the names that I picked. I mean, I've been golden for forever now, but before that, my favorite. Okay, this is my favorite name. Not so good in theory. In practice, it did what I wanted it to. So, let me give a little background first. So, in RuneScape, and we're talking classic RuneScape, not that one that Pi plays. We're talking like 1999 RuneScape. The one that didn't have graphics. Or, like, didn't have good ones anyway. Back when I was playing classic RuneScape, some guy did the thing where, like, I'm the new player, and he's going to help me out. So he tells me to, you know, drop my gold on the ground, and he takes it away. Because he was going to duplicate it or whatever. So I lose my gold to this guy. And I'm like 8 or 9 years old or whatever at the time, and I'm just like, oh man, you know, I don't ever want to get scammed by a player again, because this devastated me. So I went and created a new account, and this account was designed to keep all the scammers away. And so I named my new RuneScape character I Rip You Off, which, as it turns out, when you're actually playing the game legitimately and you have the name I Rip You Off, nobody actually wants to trade with you. Who would have thought? So it was tough to convince people that I was a very sincere player with the handle I Rip You Off. It didn't work. So that one maybe one of my lesser successful handles. Added. I don't even know if I have the account anymore, to be honest. That was a long time ago. And also, somebody told me they don't do classic RuneScape anymore. I would be shocked. I don't know, like, what their account retention policy is, but if mine's somehow still alive in the 2018 version of the game, that would be amazing. Trying to think of, like, other interesting names. This is kind of an interesting topic, I think, because people go through a lot of iterations of names, or, like, you use different names for different games. It's certainly something I've seen, especially on, like, Xbox and PlayStation, where you don't always get the name you want anyway. It's a good topic. We'll have to think of bringing that one up again some other time. I think we can recycle that one. Get some good answers. Alright, we got 59 potions. I don't need this much either. Maybe like 30 of those. So we got 58 bullets, 59 potions. Okay. I'll try again. Gehrman awaits. I've gotten him down to like 10% HP twice now. Just can't seal the deal. He won't let me lay a hand on him this time. Alright, just kill me. That was not a good attempt. Just kill me. Come on, Gehrman.
You must accept your death. Be
Fighting Orphan right now, it's not going well. So I actually watched, I don't know if you guys saw earlier when I was fighting Orphan, but Ivan was in the channel and he linked his Orphan fight from his playthrough. And he beat Orphan on the second try, which was crazy to me. It was a really good fight. His dodging was very good. But that was a good highlight. It was like 5 minutes long. And it was like first attempt, he died pretty quickly. Second attempt, just crushed it. If he's here, Ivan, if you're here, you post that highlight again, because it was a good one. I'd post it, but I don't have it at the moment. I'm also dying to Gehrman. I don't got time to post it. No, Gehrman, no. Bad Gehrman. I'll punish for days. All the way. All the way. All the way. Get out of there, it's gonna blow. Oh, frick.
must accept your death.
You must stop doing a whole health bar worth of damage. How about that? Nice thing about my name is it's only ever been taken once. See, that's the beauty of having a unique name. I will forever and ever be fighting to get my name on everything because it's just not going to happen. Sometimes it's, I think, the website's fault, to be honest. They don't, a lot of these websites don't enforce their inactive account policies, and that's super annoying. Like, if you go on Twitter and you find Go London hasn't posted in 7 years, which is way longer than Twitter's inactive policy, but they don't enforce the policy. So, even though it's been 7 years, I'm never getting that account. Keep going, all the way to the wall. Big damage. Frick. that's so much damage. No, don't attack, you dummy. You dummy! Why would you attack after I took damage? I didn't push triangle, I was healing. This game buffer is just like Souls. Maybe even worse than Souls. Can you contact them about it? Maybe. One thing that I find is that if you try to contact somebody about like asking for their account name, generally from my experience, maybe you guys have had different ones, but from my experience, people are very controlling of it. Even if they don't use it, they're controlling of it, and they don't want to give it up. So I don't think it would be worth my time, especially if the person hasn't used it in 7 years. I doubt that they're going to actually even reply. But it's worth a try, I guess. I could ask if they would switch off the name or something so I could take it. I just wish that like Twitter themselves would step up and say, okay, we're actually enforcing our inactive policy, clearing out these names. YouTube's interesting too, because on YouTube the channel Go London is not taken, like no one is using it, but they won't allow me to change my channel to it. When I tried to switch to it, it said you need to pick a name that's more descriptive, like it needs to be longer basically, because too many people go by Go London or something like that, which is weird because if you try to take Go Tudin, it will allow you to do that. So I think Google is they have a hatred of the number 1 apparently. But yeah, so there's 2 sites I should be able to get Go London on, and I can't on either one of them. Keep going. All the way. All the way. I think Gehrman just makes up the rules for like how many times he gets to attack in a row. It's ridiculous. This is everything I hated about Souls 2. Great. Can't use the fire paper right when I had the chance to do damage to him. Oh wow, I dodged that one. Why would you attack him? You're an idiot. You did it again. How can someone else have a 1? I don't know. I swear though, there's like these secret underground techniques on all these websites where you can somehow, like, you must have to know a guy like Rick Harrison's style or something. Because, like, Trihex got his name switched from double X to single X. So there must be somebody that he talked to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just, like, go to Trihex and be like, how did you do this? But at the same time, somebody knows somebody. Which is why I wish they would just enforce these things, like, site-wide, instead of having to know somebody to get what you want. Twitch does a lot of that too, actually. There's all kinds of stuff going on behind the scenes at Twitch. And if you happen to know somebody, you get special privileges. Oh, absolutely, Arcbliss, yeah. Like, I'm not trying to deny that by any means. I'm just saying, like, it seems to me like you either have to know somebody or you have to be famous enough that they feel you deserve it, right? Whereas it should just be site-wide. Like, this is our policy. After 90 days, your account's open to anybody. Whoops. Wasn't watching my health. But some of these are the facts of life. And you just have to accept it and move on. Should have stuck with I rip you off. Nobody's going to take that name. Actually, the really funny ones to me are the ones where a player has to change their screen name because they get accepted into, like, GDQ, for instance. You know, like Cantaloupe Me. That's a classic. I think they allowed Wild Anaconda 69 to use his name at GDQ. No! Garamond. Why you gotta do me like that? Garamond just doesn't follow the rules, man. I think the weapon I'm using is really bad at staggering, too. It was working pretty well for the earlier fights, but I noticed in the DLC that I stopped being able to stagger enemies with any consistency. It's really made some of these fights a lot trickier, too, because I have to just react to what they're doing. How does anyone play this game without maxing their stamina? I'm like level 35 stamina and I barely have enough to attack 3 times. Dude, I'm in the middle of comboing you. You don't get to just hit me for all my health. Stop hitting me with that stupid gun. Come on, we can do this. No, we can't do it. He just hacks me. Oh, we're back to the locking on to the enemy doesn't actually attack them. I'm literally so mad. Come on. No. No. Stop attacking me with that gun. No. Garmin. Garmin. Now that's a phase 2. Alright, well, I don't have any potions, so this ain't gonna work. Prey slaughtered. Moon presence. Wow, I'm the best. I got in there for so much damage. Ow. Ow. That was a lot of damage. Got a leaper. Oh, okay. Try using a potion there, buddy. Why won't you use a potion? I literally have 5 potions. Hello? He wouldn't use a potion. I pushed triangle 100 times. I literally should have won that first try, and he would not use a potion. I don't understand this game. Well, back to fighting Garamond. Garamond awaits. Oh, we're just skipping Garamond now. Okay. I don't get why it didn't let me use my potion. That's just bizarre. It's not like they're banned in this fight. I used one earlier in the fight. That was so anticlimactic. I wanted to first try that so bad, and then it didn't let me use my potion. I'm so mad. Okay, I'm not going near that.
See, he can use it just fine. Why wasn't he using the potion in the third phase? I think my character's just become unresponsive. Well, try not standing in front of the boss. Now I can't use potions. Okay, so this must be like a gimmick of the boss. Like, you're not allowed to use the potion in the final part. Still won't let me use the potion. Nightmare slain. 230,000! That was substantially easier than Garamond. Oh, look, they put out the fire. Can I make out with the doll yet?
Are you cold?
Okay, that's just gross and weird. Look, you're allowed to have your fetish, but that's just disgusting.
Oh, good hunter.
There you go. Yeah, I went back there and I found the nightmare thing that apparently I had to attack. I think I beat it all bosses anyway. To the best of my knowledge, we beat it all bosses. I beat 22 of them, so if that's the magic number, then we did it. What a cool game. Other than a few minor gripes, I think it's really awesome. I haven't done anything Chalice related. Might check those out at some point. Yeah, I would summarize the general premise and story of this game by saying I have no idea. Doesn't make any sense. I want to know, was in that final fight, was like banning you from using potions a mechanic of the fight? Because I feel like I was not able to use potions near the end of the Moon Presence fight. Oh, it's debuff. Okay. Because the first time I fought Moon Presence, I was going to win on the first try, and then all of a sudden my potion button just... I didn't put two and two together and realize it was a debuff. I just thought, like, why the heck is my controller not working? There's a lot of stuff in this game mechanically that I don't think I understood at any point. I just stuck to basics, but... I think this game is awesome. I wish that they would just give you 20 potions and 20 bullets on death, because everybody's just going to farm for that number anyway, so let's just admit that that's a thing and give people 20/20 so the game keeps moving. Because that was actually like the biggest downtime throughout this playthrough, was just going and grinding for potions and bullets. And that was consistently, like, through the entire playthrough, I had to do that. And, like, it wasn't super annoying, but it sort of is distracting from getting to play. Also, Gehrman was way harder than the Moon Presence boss. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but Gehrman just felt like a Dark Souls 2 enemy with his, like, the rules don't apply to me. I'll just attack you whenever I want to. When you submit to Gehrman, you get worst ending. So good thing I didn't pick that. I thought it would just kill you and you'd get to, like, revive and go talk to him again or something. That's silly. Imagine, like, and this is one of those games too where you don't get to, like, have saves and go back and load your save. Imagine getting through the whole game, and when you open up that dialog box, the option that's selected is the submit option. So if you're just, like, mashing through and you hit X, like, well, thanks for playing our video game. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's a little sketchy. Move your stick to pick a dialogue option first. They do that in Octopath, and I don't like it, because there is no cursor on the screen. So I always end up hitting the wrong direction anyway, and then having to cycle. Cool. All right, let's do a little bit of a wrap-up. Well, let's see what happens here. Hold on. I'm not done yet. We'll get to play as the slug in New Game Plus.
Good. All signed and sealed. Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
What is it with Souls games and every one of them has the same twist where you just recycle the opening cutscene to start the game over again? Can we come up with a better, like, more inventive reason? I was thinking about this. Yeah, I would be curious to see what I can't even say the phrase. All bosses Bloodborne looks like. Now that I've played it, you know. It's one of those things where I feel like it's harder to appreciate without having played the game, but now that I've played it, I would be curious to see what they do. Watch that while I was fighting Gehrman.
Ah, you found yourself a hunter.
Oh, look at my dude. 230,000 souls to his name. Here I am again. Does not open from this side. Alright. Who wants to bet that I lose 230,000 souls right now? I'm gonna die to the first enemy in New Game Plus. Let's do it. Oh wait, can I light the lamp yet? No? Alright. This enemy's gonna have like 5 quadrillion health. I lied. It's actually just easy. Wait. If that's how you get out of there... I forget how this game opens up. So you're supposed to... I don't remember any of this. It's been too long. Closed by device. Oh yeah. Alright, I just want to get back to Hunter Stream and spend my souls. Ow, that's a lot of damage. Yo, New Game Plus run right now, while we wait for Dragon Quest. It is nice that you get to keep all your stuff. It's lit. $250,000 souls. I like that you can tell the game is over at that point too. As soon as you see that you win like $250,000 souls for the fight. Oh. Are these all the same? I don't remember this cutscene either. The same. What do you mean I can't spend my souls? I guess you don't get to do that for a while. Okay. Well, anyway. Seems like a good spot to wrap up for now. So we did it. We beat Bloodborne. And we did it just in time for Dragon Quest. Not in time to play Metroid Prime, though. So I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping I finished this up a couple days earlier, and then we'd have time for Prime. But that will wait for another time. GG, yes. I did the whole game solo. We didn't need any summons, NPC or otherwise. So that was cool. I have the whole list of the bosses I beat in order here, and I don't really know how to recap this playthrough other than to just kind of look through this list and see what comes to mind. So maybe we'll just kind of do that for a minute here. So I remember the start of this game being very difficult for me. I think mechanically it was a lot to absorb. Even though I've played Souls games, it just kind of felt a little different, and I was having trouble getting going. That opening alleyway where there's 20 or so enemies, I kept dying there a lot. And then when we got to the Cleric Beast was absolutely pummeling me. But it took me a good maybe 15, 20 attempts on Cleric Beast before I started to get a hang of things. Ended up beating it eventually. Actually beat Cleric Beast before I ever found Father Gassy. Papa Gassy. So then that fight ended up being a lot easier. I think Cleric Beast is the harder of the two. Bloodstar Beast went really well. It only took a couple of tries. Vicar Amelia I beat on the second try. I kind of like that whole sequence, actually. The opening of this game has some pretty cool zones, and it has a good mix of beatable enemies and enemies that make you want to run in another direction. The Witch of Hemwick, I like that. It was kind of a puzzly boss. Like, I just killed this enemy, and it didn't take any damage. I don't understand. And then you find out why. It was kind of cool. I'm a big fan of the puzzle bosses. Shadow of Yharnam, that's like the... I don't know. I feel like every Souls game since number... Was it 2? Souls 2 had a fight where you had a trio, I think. And Souls 3 did it as well. I feel like that's just like the trio fight. It's kind of interesting. Because you're just trying to manage 3 different enemies coming at you. Dark Beast Parl I found way earlier in the playthrough, but couldn't beat. Like, I stood no chance. So we came back and beat Dark Beast Parl. I thought that was another interesting fight. Just a very quick attacker. Amygdala went really well. It only took like 4 or 5 tries. Some people were saying that was a hard fight, but I guess I got lucky or something. I don't know. Maybe you're all lying to me to make me feel better. I don't know. It's actually a really easy fight. Rom, the vacuous spider, kept killing me because I couldn't run in on it for the 3rd phase. It kept finding ways to blow up in my face. Old One Reborn was really easy, but getting to it was the hard part. There was this alleyway where these enemies were just sniping me to death. That was a pretty easy boss fight, though. Mikolash, Host of the Nightmare. That was another puzzly boss where you had to like chase the guy around the library or whatever. That was kind of cool. Okay, so I have a question. Is Murgo's Wet Nurse the final boss of the original game? Because I did not get that impression when I was playing it. I felt like this was too easy for a final boss. It's the final boss of any percent. Yeah, so like... Before DLC existed, like, this was the final boss of the game, right? That's my point. It just didn't really strike me as a final boss fight. But then again, I guess if you think about, like, other Dark Souls final bosses... Like, Souls 1, Gwyn is not particularly difficult by the time you get to Gwyn either. So, I don't know. It only took me a couple tries to beat Murgo. I think it was 2. Oh, Garamond and Moon Presence are in... Okay, that makes sense. I just interpreted it as the final boss because it said Nightmare Slain, and I took that to mean, like, oh, that's the end of the game. But, I see. Yeah, they're skippable final bosses. Yeah, that makes sense. DLC is separate and doesn't change any... Okay, so those bosses are exclusive then, so it's just these 5, and they're just sort of on their own. Okay, so anyway, Murgo's Wet Nurse. I didn't think that fight was too hard. I caught onto the mechanic pretty early in that one too, though, where it started, like, cloning itself. Logarius. I don't even remember what Logarius was. I'm not even joking. I don't remember that fight. I'm trying to think. I must have won this fight really quickly because I don't remember it at all. Which one is that one? He was in Canehurst. Oh, he was... Okay. Yep. Actually, that took me a little while, I think. A couple of tries. Cool mechanic. Wearing the crown and then having the castle get revealed. That was cool. Celestial Emissary was an interesting fight because you just had... there's always like one mob fight in the game too. In this, especially in the recent Souls games. There's like a mob and you have to try and find the right one to attack or whatever. It's kind of a cool one. Then there's the white dragon whose name I always get wrong. Ebrietis. Ebrietis? Ebrietis. Ebriety. I don't know. That one was pretty cool. Actually, I think that was the first one where I was like, wow, this is tripping me up a bit. Other than the fact that we got to, like, Dark Beast Parl too early, I think. That one tripped me up when I got there the first time, but... DLC bosses were pretty cool. Ludwig. Very cool, very tough first fight of the DLC. If I had to rank these DLC fights in order of difficulty, I would put Ludwig more towards the top of the list for difficulty. So I thought it was interesting that they threw him in there first. It's like, here's this DLC, and a lot of you are going to quit after this first fight. I can just picture people dropping the DLC because they can't beat the first boss. He was tough. Lawrence. Lawrence was the skull dragon, right, with the fire. That was another tough fight too. I kept cornering myself in that one, but it had some cool mechanics. I thought that was a good, very aggressive fight. And then phase 2 is very different from phase 1. I like when the second phase is completely different, because there are a couple of bosses here where they have a second phase, but they tend to, even like Orphan's second phase is very similar to phase 1. So I actually thought Orphan phase, we'll get there in a second. I'm not talking about Orphan yet. But Lawrence was, I thought, a really cool boss. Albeit the camera got me a couple of times. Living Failures. I just like the name of that boss more than anything. Cool mechanic, dodging the meteors in the middle. Like, they're all like summoning the meteors and you have to dodge the meteors while you have to decide, like, is it worth attacking them during the meteor attack. That was cool. I actually thought Lady Maria was going to be the final boss of the DLC when I got to her, because it felt very much like an Artorias kind of fight. It was a one-on-one, you know, she's this very aggressive, sort of relentless attacker. It just kind of felt like it would be a good cap to the DLC. But I like that fight a lot. And then Orphan of Kos. I guess we've learned the canon way to pronounce it is Kos, even though I like all of the other ways to pronounce it more. If you could say Orphan of Chaos, and then just stylistically spell it KOS, I think that's better. If you want to call him the Orphan of KOs because he's a murdering machine, I think that's also a better name. Orphan of Kos doesn't do it for me. That's my review. But yeah, Orphan is such a difficult fight. That was easily the hardest fight of the game for me. Good way to cap the DLC. And wow, I don't ever want to fight that one again. That was tough. If I ever play again, we're skipping Orphan. I don't know about that, but that's how I feel at the moment anyway. I was just so relieved to beat Orphan. It was a good, satisfactory feeling to win. Hardest across all the games? I don't know. It's tough to compare because, like, now that I have Souls experience, I feel like it's a little tough to judge, because for me, when I played Dark Souls 1, everything was difficult. I'm not, I'm not primarily like a 3D action combat gamer. And so going into Dark Souls 1, I just felt overwhelmed by a lot of it to begin with. And I remember like Ornstein and Sma taking me 2 or 3 days. You know, most of these fights here, if I got tripped up on something, it took me maybe an hour or 2 at most, through Bloodborne. So it's hard to relate. But I feel like now that I have the experience of playing Souls 1, 2, 3, that maybe I'm a little bit more prepared. But it's just tough to compare. But I would say it's a very difficult fight. I mean, Orphan is relentless and punishes you very well. Same thing for Gehrman. Although the vibe I got from Gehrman is that he just doesn't follow any rules. So I don't know if that's true or not. That's just the impression I got. Orphan, at least, it seemed like most of the attacks, there were pauses between. This one, Gehrman just felt like he was like, okay, go, 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 go. That's the impression I got anyway. And then, yeah, Moon Presence, I actually was kind of surprised if that was going to be the extra boss, that it was as easy as it was. Can I say that? I feel like that might offend somebody who, like, thought it was difficult. Moon Presence seemed really easy. Especially considering you didn't have to refight Gehrman. If you had to, I was worried when I died the first time to Moon Presence that I was going to have to refight Gehrman first. That would have been a tough 1-2 punch. But yeah, interesting. But I would be very intrigued and actually interested in playing this again sometime, maybe with a completely different build. I think that's part of the appeal of this game is that, to me at least, it seems like they've mainstreamed not mainstreamed, streamlined. That's the phrase I'm looking for. They've streamlined a lot of the mechanics of Souls, so you're not bogged down with hundreds of options for things. You know, like there's maybe 10 to 15 weapons as opposed to 50 to 100. Okay, there's not that many, but you get the point. Like, I feel like I could come back here and just pick another weapon and feel like I'm getting a whole different experience with it, which you would get it in Souls as well. But I feel like it's reasonable to experience a lot of the weapons at some point if you desire to do that. It was purposely easy because it's after Garment. Yeah, that could make sense too. They just want you to kind of roll the credits or something. Yeah, that's the other thing. There's 6 stats. I do wish when you're... Okay, let's go through minor complaints. Are you ready? We got to get to minor complaints if we're going to talk about the stats. So here are my Bloodborne negatives. And maybe we'll go in some sort of order here. The biggest negative of all, I've talked about it a million times through the playthrough, potion and bullet grinding. If you just spawned with 2020, this game would run so much more smoothly. It would be... I mean, it doesn't... I don't think it eliminates the difficulty by giving you 2020. I really don't think it affects the difficulty. I think if you're going to die, you're going to die, you know? So all it did for me was just add time to the playthrough and bog me down by farming them. I don't think it would be an issue on a second playthrough just because you have more familiarity with it and you'd kind of prepare for that and buy potions when needed and things like that. But yeah, it really bogged me down. Like, I'm in the middle of learning to try and fight a boss and then I don't have enough potions or bullets to make it worth it. So I have to go grind them. But for the stats, the reason that I wanted to talk about that is that when you're purchasing an item, look at this. Let's go check this out right now. Here's a minor Bloodborne complaint. I want to buy some new gear. Okay? Boy, it sure would be nice to know how this affects my stats in any way, shape, or form. These numbers are cute and all, but like, can I get a plus or minus anywhere? No. You get it when you go to equip it, but not before you purchase it. You got to purchase it first. So there's a little bit of like guessing, do I actually need any of this stuff? Is it worth it to buy any of it? Yeah. I do like that everything is in one place though. That's nice. I don't need to run to different sections to go talk to, you know, the blacksmith is over here and the person that sells magic is over here and the pyro guy is over here. I like that it's all kind of contained in this hunter stream, or at least the key stuff is. There's some stuff over in Cathedral Ward, but it's pretty minor stuff. So you don't find much on the ground like in the Souls games. I do like that too, actually. Everything seems to be... There's not a huge variety of things to pick up. So you understand what all of the items do by the time you're done, I feel like. I had a better grasp of what everything does. And you're picking up the same couple of items over and over again. Let's see. Other minor things. I mean, the camera got me a couple of times, but I think that's probably just, you know, that kind of thing happens. I don't think I can really dock the game for that. L3 jump. Oh, so you have to do... Yeah, so like to do a jump, you have to be running and then... Is this what you're talking about? So like you have to let go of circle and then tap circle again? Yeah, the hunter badges let you buy the items over here, which is nice. I started understanding that pretty early on. I have a question, actually. This is something that I didn't want to ask during the playthrough because I thought it would change the way I played, but now that I've beat the game... Does the number that you have for the insight currency affect the difficulty of the game somehow? Because I had my hunches when the numbers started getting really high that things were changing. Insight affects some enemy movesets. Okay. So, what is the ideal? Like, you want to have a lower number, or you want to have a higher number? Okay, so if you have a higher number, then they become harder. Interesting. I never understood the beast meter either. I don't think I used beast at all throughout this whole playthrough. I tried a couple different times, but I couldn't get the meter to stay on the screen for more than like 3 seconds. So that was another mechanic I didn't understand. Yeah, they made it seem like beast does more damage, which was why I was trying to get into it. But I didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to figure it out. Yeah, I think what we'll do is, well, what we'll do. I don't know about we, because I probably can't restream somebody else's video, but I would like to go check out a Bloodborne all bosses at some point here. Just see what it's like. It isn't just more damage, it's broken. I wish I would have found that earlier then. So, can I ask a question about how Beast works? So, do you have to fill the whole meter before you, like, transform or whatever? Oh, it scales based on how big the meter is filled. Okay, I understand. And it's high risk, high reward. Like, you deal more damage, you take more damage. So it's kind of like the spell that I used in Souls 1 a lot. There was a Souls 1 spell called... Oh god, I don't remember what it was called. Something about blood. I don't... Maybe not. Anyway, the spell was... that's the one. Power Within. Yes, so you lose HP over time, but you deal more damage. I used that to get through like the whole second half of Souls 1. Yeah. I don't think I would have beat that game without that spell, because I just needed ways to deal more damage. This playthrough was interesting to me because in most of my Souls playthroughs, I tend to pick weapons that have a lot of range. You know, they give me distance between the enemy. And because I didn't like using this form of the weapon, this is so short-ranged. I had to really get up in the face of every enemy and just be aggressive and see what I could get away with, which was kind of fun. I think it's very different from how I play Souls usually. Also, here's a mechanic I never figured out. Let's talk about the gun for a second. Okay, so the gun, if you time it right on the enemy, you can do like the visceral attack and punish them with the gun. And it seemed like every time I tried to do that, the enemy just didn't care and would bat me away anyway. So I sort of gave up on it towards the end of the playthrough. It worked for a while in the beginning of the playthrough, and then I felt like it just got more and more difficult to convince the boss I actually gunned it. But yeah, and see, that's the thing. A lot of the times I felt like it wasn't worth learning the timing of it, because if you stand in there to try and do the parry and you miss, you're pretty much dead on a lot of these bosses. So it just felt like you gotta, you know, pick your battles, and I didn't really feel like it was necessary. It worked out that you stuck with the untrick form of that weapon. Yeah, so what happened was I actually did try to use it like this at the start of the game. If you watch the first couple hours of the playthrough, I was running around like this. And I just felt like it... Look at how slow it is, you know? You got this huge wind-up. And I just felt like it doesn't add any value to this weapon. And then when I switched to this one and I'm like, you know, we're just... Woo, 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 woo. And they're all really, like, cheap on the stamina meter. I liked that idea of let's try, like, a quick attack weapon. The shotgun has delay. I noticed that because there were a lot of times, you go back and watch some of these boss fights that I did, a lot of times where I tell you after I died, I'm like, I pushed the button. I pulled the trigger. Nothing happened. I pulled the trigger. Yeah. Got me a couple times. The movesets in the game are huge. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what some of these look like, so I'll definitely check this out. Because I stuck to basics. I was very much, all right, I'm going to dodge this attack, and then I'm going to go in there and hit him a couple times. And I think that worked for me. Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad we completed this game before Dragon Quest. That was my goal. I'm so glad I played it too, because it's been sitting on my shelf for a couple years. Finally got around to playing it, and it was so worth it. For anybody who's watching this, I think most of you that are watching have already played it, so this isn't going to be an issue. But if you haven't played it and you want to, it's on sale right now on PlayStation Network with the DLC for, I think it was $12. Either 12 or 14, I can't remember. But if anybody out there wants to play it, definitely pick it up right now during this sale. Honestly, actually, that's one other thing I would like to talk about, is that this was really substantial DLC. If you look at something like Souls 1's DLC, Souls 1 had a couple of bosses, and they were pretty much all in this one sort of area. You know, it wasn't a ton of distance between the start of the DLC area and the end. It just gave you sort of these bosses to fight. But if you look at this, oh, I can't look at it now because I'm in New Game Plus. Dang. There were what, like 8 to 10 zones, and they were zones. You know, it was like you weren't just walking there to fight the next boss. You had to explore this whole area. I thought they did a really good job of adding content to that. So major thumbs up. It was going to be 2, and then it got combined into 1. Best Souls DLC. I don't know for sure yet because I haven't... So, I beat the Souls 1 DLC. I dropped the Souls 2 DLC because I just was tired of playing Souls 2. And then I haven't bought the Souls 3 DLC yet. So, I can't comment. But from what I've played so far, I think design-wise, like as a whole package, I think this is the best one. I don't know, like some of the fights in Souls 1 DLC are some of my favorite fights. Like Artorias is a really awesome fight. I like the dragon too, Calamite. So I don't know how they would stack up, but I would say Souls 1 DLC doesn't have the zones that Bloodborne has, where you're going through and you're actually needing to progress through this zone to get to the next fight. And it felt like Souls 1 was more just like ushering you into the next battle. Yeah, so it's 20. There's 15 bosses. No, 17 bosses in the main game and 5 in the DLC for this. And to get to those 5 in the DLC, you move through something like 8 to 10 checkpoints. I don't remember the exact number. But it was also kind of cool that it encouraged you to move back and forth. You know, when I first got to that top of Grand Cathedral, I thought, oh, we're going to fight this, you know, fire dragon thing. And it wouldn't let me, and I was really annoyed by that because I was convinced it was a boss, and it turns out it was. I just didn't have the item to fight it yet. So I kind of like that it kind of pushes you back and forth through the DLC. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It feels like a total package. It's like the boss fights themselves are all very well done, and they actually put some thought into these zones too. Like I loved the Fisherman's Hut zone or whatever, Fisherman's War for, I don't know, that was Final Fantasy VIII. That's not Bloodborne. Whatever the Fisherman's one was called, that zone was awesome. Probably my favorite DLC zone. There's only 7 mandatory bosses. I believe it. There's definitely a lot of optional stuff in this game. I was convinced after you beat Cleric Beast at some point that door was going to open and go somewhere, and it just never did. Fishing Hamlet. Yeah. Cool zone. Also, I'll give them bonus points for this. Frenzy is probably my least favorite thing about like status effects in this game, but they didn't overuse it. I was very scared there was going to be like a DLC zone where every enemy gives you frenzy, or the boss, you know, in its desperation mode just keeps filling your frenzy meter. Yeah, frenzy is absolutely a brutal status effect. But thankfully, they only used it in limitation, so... Would have connected to Cathedral Ward, yeah. Yeah, it feels like a lot of this... I don't know if it was because it was rushed, or... if they just decided to cut stuff from the game, but it feels like there are parts that... You go to a place and you feel there should be something here and there's not. But it never really detracted from the game. Like, I never felt like, wow, this zone feels empty or something, you know? It just seemed every now and then like, oh, this probably was going to lead somewhere, but it didn't. Yeah, I heard somebody else mention that when I was fighting that enemy envoy, that they nerfed the frenzy mechanic. Yeah, pretty cool game. I'm very happy with the playthrough. So I bought Bloodborne for $8 on Newegg like 3 years ago, and then I bought the DLC for a couple of bucks the other day. And you guys can buy it too if you are interested. It's on the PlayStation sale for like $12 right now with the DLC. Solid 50-hour playthrough, I think, something like that. So what I'm going to do with this playthrough is, I'm thinking about this now, since I'm done with the game already. What I think I want to do is, I want to highlight every one of the fights where I win, and then make a compilation video and put it on YouTube. So if people don't want to watch the whole playthrough, you know, maybe a couple years down the road, somebody's like, Golden played Bloodborne. Let me check this out. Instead of having to watch, you know, the entire 50-hour game, I'm thinking, like, why don't we make, like, a half-an-hour video that's got all of my 22 boss kills in it? So, I think we'll give that a try. I don't know if anybody will be interested in watching that, but it's throughout the whole playthrough, I was thinking about that. I think it could be interesting. But anyway, so stream plans coming up here. So Metroid Prime 2 is on hold because I wanted to, if I was going to start that, I wanted to beat it before Dragon Quest. But Dragon Quest is going to be on Tuesday. I plan to start Dragon Quest 11 Tuesday night. Now, most people are going to be starting it tomorrow at midnight. So there's, you know, if you really want to see the game, watch those people. You know, if you're dying to see it. Mine will start later than that, and it certainly won't be as continuous. You know, I'm going to be just streaming in the evenings and things like that when I'm back from work. But we're going to do Dragon Quest, I think, during the weeks for the most part. Maybe for the first weekend, we'll stream it on the weekend too. But what my plan is I want to do Dragon Quest 11 during the week, and then eventually get to a point where we start Danganronpa 3 on Saturdays. I don't know when that's going to be just yet, because I still need to figure out how I'm going to watch Danganronpa 3 anime. I'll have to talk to DP about it, because I think he knows more about where I can watch the anime. But I want to watch the anime first, and then I'm in the middle of reading the light novel as well. So I want to take care of all of that before I start Danganronpa 3. Never played Dragon Quest, you'll tune in. Yeah, from what I've heard, actually, and this is really intriguing to hear, is that this Dragon Quest is apparently, like, super approachable, and for Eggman was telling me that it's like for new players, if you've never played Dragon Quest before, start with 11. It's basically what he was saying. So I'm really curious to see what kind of mechanics it has. All I've heard is like multiple people telling me Game of the Year, so I'm pretty excited. Like, I already was excited about it, but I'm glad it's getting some positive praise already. Yeah, I don't know for sure. I can't speak to how grindy it is. All I know is from what I've seen of it. So Eggman's actually got the game already because there's a Walmart like 20 minutes from both of our houses that broke the street date on it. So he bought it like 2 weeks ago, and he was streaming it for a while before the Square Enix cops shut him down. But it's got like the sphere grid sort of, not sphere grid, the license board from Final Fantasy 12. It has that sort of, when you level up, you get to sort of traverse this board, and depending on which direction you go on the board, you get different stat boosts and skills and things like that. So it looks really cool. I'm excited. And of course, it's just like that. I don't know. You either love Dragon Quest or you hate it. Like some people don't like that it's like too similar between each game or whatever. But I'm a big fan. I'm a junkie. So looking forward to it. And Caden already answered that question. The answer is soon. I don't want to give a date. So I should be fitting it in soon here. But yeah. So we'll aim to do Dragon Quest during the weeks. And at some point we'll start DR3. And then the only other game I think that I have on my list for this year is I need to go back to Nocturne at some point and finish Nocturne, because we got about halfway through Nocturne and I was having way too many issues streaming that game. But I've fixed those issues now. You'll notice during this entire playthrough I was on my PS4, and you didn't hear any cackling audio during the entire playthrough as I point to you with my Bic round stick pen. You, home viewer, did not complain about cackling audio, and you know why that was? It's because I fixed the cackling audio issue, so we can go back to streaming PS3 again. You know what it was? The culprit? It was my splitter. The splitter. So what I was doing before is I would plug in my console into the splitter, and then it would go to the TV and go to the capture card, and that splitter was introducing all the cackling noise. So to solve it, I now feed the console into the capture card and then send it back to my TV. So I'm playing with like a slight delay. I don't really notice it. I notice it when I'm looking at, so I have the TV here and I have the OBS up. And if I look at this, I can see just a very slight, it's really hard to notice, but like it's slightly faster on the OBS versus my TV. But it's not enough to bother me. So we've solved the cackling issue, which means we can stream Demon Souls at some point in the future too, because that's another game I quit because of all the cackling audio. So more streams in the future. But yes, immediate future, we're looking at Dragon Quest XI on Tuesday night, and probably all throughout the weekend for the first week. And then we'll do Dragon Quest during the week, I think. In any case, if you stay tuned to my Twitter, I will always tweet out when I go live. And also, if you guys aren't on my Discord, here you go. I think most of you are there already, but for anybody who's not, if you go to my Discord, there is a channel on my Discord called Is Go Wondon Streaming, and if you are in that channel, and you don't have the channel muted, every time I go live, it will send a notification. So you won't miss a stream if you're in that channel. So definitely consider adding that Discord there. Also, there's like a clips channel in there. If you guys clip something from the stream and want to share it, you can post it there. Some pretty good ones. But yes. So this does it, I think, for Bloodborne. This was an awesome game. So glad we got this in. It was awesome. It's kind of interesting, too, because for the other Souls games, when I completed them, I kind of felt at peace with them. Like, all right, I beat Souls 1. You know, I don't really feel the need to go back to Souls 1. But for Bloodborne, I'm kind of like, well, there's more to see here. I haven't seen everything yet. You know, I've beat the game. But there's more. I'm intrigued. I want to do more. So maybe in the future, another playthrough of Bloodborne. But not tonight. And not tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow or not. Tomorrow's Labor Day. I think I have some family things going on. And have some Survivor things going on. Gotta watch Survivor Maryland finale. Wherever Q is. I hope Q's around this weekend. If he's not around, I'm not going to be watching that. But gotta find out if my boy Chris T wins. Trip through some chalices or another weapon is... Oh, that's the other thing, too. I never did any of the chalice dungeons before I ended the game. So maybe we'll do a chalice dungeon or two next time, too. Yeah, I think there's enough extra stuff to make me want to come back and try some stuff. So, cool. Well, thank you all for hanging out. It's been a lot of fun this last week or so. Hopefully we'll see you back here for Dragon Quest on Tuesday night. I haven't decided, as far as the stream goes, what I'm planning to do. I'm thinking... What I might do is do the whole playthrough like this. No webcam. I'm not sure yet. I don't know if it really makes a huge difference. Generally, I don't like to put the webcam up if I don't have to. Like, it's fun to have up, but I don't like it getting in the way of what you're seeing. So, as a viewer, if it bugs you that my webcam is on the stream, then I don't want to put it up there. But I think for a game like Dragon Quest, it's probably okay. As long as I don't cover up the HP or something. But anyway, I haven't decided if I'm doing anything crazy with the layout or not. I think this worked out okay for Bloodborne. I don't think this was... You know, it's far enough over here on the left that it's kind of not in the way of anything, but... Yeah, we'll figure out a spot to put it if I put it up at all. But the other thing, too, is for this game, I feel like it's reasonable to have the webcam up because you kind of want to see reactions to things. Dragon Quest, I don't know if the webcam is completely necessary. You know, it's going to be a lot of... It's going to be a lot of RPG. You know, we're talking probably like a 100-hour game or something. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out. There's going to be some... plotting on my end to figure out what I want the stream to look like. But for the most part, I want full screen gameplay. That's the number one thing I want. So, I'm not going to rob you guys of gameplay footage. But I actually really like this. This is an OBS hotkey that they have. You can assign specific things on the layout to a button. So whenever I push the number 1, the webcam and the border go away, and then whenever I push the number 0, they come back. If you guys aren't using that on OBS, it's a really cool feature. Just look up the hotkeys in the options menu. Pretty cool. Neat little trick you can do. But, yeah, we'll figure it out. So Tuesday night, probably around, I don't know, 7 or 8 o'clock Central Time, we'll start Dragon Quest XI. And that will be that. If I stream tomorrow, it's going to be something completely bizarre, and I don't even know. I have nothing in mind, but I might not stream either. Might take a day off because I've been playing this every night. So, anyway, I'm done for now. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on Tuesday. More Dragon Quest. Take it easy, everybody.